My name is Robert Huko from Kisumu County, Kisumu Northward. I'm a beekeeper and I love bees so much.
There's something you mentioned which was very interesting to me, that worker bees are female bees. Why are worker bees female? And yet we have male bees at the same time. Why are women given this responsibility? What women bees given the responsibility of working?
Actually, the function of the queen bee is always to unite the colony. So when a queen bee, will it be right to say, when it's born, it will go out of the colony and mate with other drones outside. Mostly bees, they always take care of inbreeding. There's no inbreeding in bees. They meet with other bees from other colonies. So mostly when the queen lays eggs, the worker bees are mostly fertilized eggs. These eggs that are fertilized, some of them will become the queen when the bees need to change the queen, and it's mostly from the female bees that is fertile. So they'll feed this female bee with the royal jelly, mostly from the worker bees, until it becomes a queen that within the period that it's supposed to hatch into a new bee. So I think this is the reason why most of the worker bees are female, because it's from that area where the colony can choose who's the next queen, and the queen has to be a fertilized egg. So the fertilized eggs only come from the female bees, and mostly the drones are the male bees. They're not always fertile eggs. They're being called blank eggs. Yeah, when the queen lays blank eggs, and it knows where to lay the blank eggs, there are those drone combs where they lay the eggs for drones, and they're always much bigger than the queen, and they are much bigger than the worker bee. So those are the functions of the bees in the colony.
So there's a time you also mentioned that during this laying process, there's a lazy one which only waits to eat. There's also another one with the worker ones and what one. So how do they replace the lazy ones, and what is the role of these lazy ones? And how are they being fed, and how are they being managed in the colony?
Like the drones don't fend for food. They depend on the feed that the worker bees make in the colony. And when you inspect your beehive, you realize, like, during summer or when there's no enough nectar in the area, like the resources, water during drought, like you see the drones are big bodies. So, and they eat a lot. You know, when you have big body, you consume a lot of feed. So they're designed to notice that change in the seasons. They'll chase the drones out of the colony to reduce the number of feed intake, so that they can manage it. So you know, when the drones are chased out of the colony, they're used to free food. They won't find food for themselves. They'll only stay for a few days, then they die.
So technically drones are lazy bees.
I would say they're lazy, but they also have their function. Their function mainly is just to mate with other queens from other colonies to prevent that issue of inbreeding. They have been designed to take care of that.
So the drones, their main role is to mate with queens from other colonies.
Yeah, then
so
they,
that
the
swarming thing can continue.
They're not long-lived. Then the worker bee is so that it can live for like a maximum of 6 weeks.
And how much eggs can queen produce per day? For them to sustain that, if worker bees can only live for 6 weeks. And if they live for 6 weeks, what next? How are they being disposed?
Actually, a good queen is designed to lay between 2,000 eggs on the lowest side. That's a good queen that will produce like 2,000 eggs per day. That is able to manage the number of worker bees and the drones in the colony and to sustain it. Because you see, like, this lifespan of these insects it has been designed to be like 6 weeks. It can be longer when it's during the cold seasons, when they don't have to fend for so much feed. They'll depend on whatever they are stored. And for the queen, it will live much longer. A good queen can even live between 2 to 3 or 5 years, depending on the location where it is and the type of colony that it's existing in.
But
Because it's the function of the worker bees to take care of the queen. They clean it, they feed it, and they're also able to realize a queen that is not performing well. And that's the case where you realize the bees want to swarm, or they want to produce a new queen. And when a new queen is produced, that's when the cases of swarming comes in. They want to take it out. They'll drive it out of the colony to bring in a new queen that can do their work. It's just like a new governor in your area. If your governor is not working well, you'll need to elect another. So that's the history about bees. Then one thing, when you want to study the behavior of bees, you can just see that through the entrance. You don't need to open. For example, you can see the behavior, for example, some during pollen collection. It's able to tell you how the colony is managed, if it's stable. Like see, they collect pollen. That pollen is used for future food or the normal food. Or mostly when they're having young ones, they collect that pollen to feed them, because pollen is mainly protein. So you are able to study them by their behavior through the entrance. You don't need to open it.
wow.
So this one is an improvised feeder that I made for the bees. It was a new colony, so they needed more energy to draw more new combs on the frames. So when you feed them, like, they need that energy. When they have enough energy, you trigger them, or that enough energy triggers their wax production. So they'll draw combs much faster than they finish their work early. So it takes less time for them to produce honey.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have learned something. Please make sure that you share the link with your mates. If this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. Leave for us a comment so that we can know where you're watching us from and whatever you have learned.